Hey, so just had a false start on my video because I lost my original train of thought. I went down a rabbit hole. Surprise. I digressed. Oh no. But I seriously couldn't get it back, and I did. So there's this guy named Louis Rossmann who has an excellent electronics repair YouTube channel, and I ran into him in looking up information about ThinkPads. And he's a big fan of the ThinkPads and a pretty big fan of Lenovo. But he has excellent videos on doing component level repair. How to do component level repair on Apple products, which is non-trivial. Kind of a big deal. Pretty cool. But he had a video while I was looking at him about ThinkPads and, you know, YouTube autoplay being what it is. It went to another video. No, that wasn't autoplay. It had a video how to stop procrastinating in like 2016 or something like that. And I watched that video. I think that was the video where he said it. It was a very good video. He talked about how procrastination is primarily caused by us feeling oppressed by the world rather than feeling in control of the world. And we milk that oppression to just be like, oh, I can't do anything. Like, oh, I'm trapped. And we use procrastination as a means of regaining control over our supposedly out of control life. It's like, oh, I have to go to work today because I have to pay bills, because I have to have a roof over my head. And I don't like any of those things, and I'm at work, so I'm just going to procrastinate. I'm going to be lazy. And that's your defense mechanism for it. You're like, oh yeah? Well, I might have to do what you tell me to do, but I don't have to do it exactly right now. Boom. And it's small and it's petty, but it was really resonating with me. And I'm guessing resonates with others a lot. But in that video, it was either that video or a similar one. He does some of these like kind of long form chats, like just talking about a certain topic where he's not like live fixing a motherboard and repairing something and then just, oh, by the way, also talking about some other stuff that's going on that's on his mind. This is more of a direct opinion piece. But it was either that or a different video where he had said that something to the effect of the how good your life is measured in the number of uncomfortable conversations you've had. And that's been very, very true in my life. Because the uncomfortable conversations, and he was getting me thinking about this stuff way before, you know, all these other intellectual dark web people were talking about it. But the idea that the truth is there, and you avoid that uncomfortable conversation because it's uncomfortable, but that also means you're avoiding the truth. That also means you're lying to yourself and to other people, and you create this disparity of reality where things don't really line up. And then you spend a lot of time easy bro. You spend a lot of time and effort and energy trying to make them line up so they fit together, but they don't, because you're not being honest with yourself and you're not being honest with other people, and you're not doing those things because you don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation. So yeah, have the uncomfortable conversation, have that truthful discussion, honest discussion. And it's going to be hard and it's going to stink, and as long as you come at it from the and this is a pretty important point. If it's an important conversation, you're having it with someone who's important in your life, and you need to remember that the point of a discussion or an argument with someone who you know, with whom you live or with whom you're going to have repeated contact and connection to, the point of an argument is not to win. The point can never be to win. You don't want to win, because if one person wins, then the other person loses. And that other person is, by some small extension or large extension in the case of a spouse, part of you and a big part of your life. So you're damaging yourself by damaging them by insisting that you have to win an argument. You know, it can be easy to win. It's a lot harder to, I don't want to say lose, but to come to a stalemate, to come to an understanding. You know, this isn't like Jordan Peterson absolutely destroys his wife in an argument. You know, we're trying to get along. We're trying to get on the same page, and the more uncomfortable conversations that you have, the more of those, I say arguments, but I don't want you to think of them as arguments. The more stuff you put out on the table and talk about openly, the better your life gets. Yeah, incrementally at first, but then it just kind of snowballs because there's other stuff that comes out. And then once the other person understands that, like, hey, we can discuss this like adults without, you know, throwing things and screaming, maybe there's other stuff that they want to bring up. So improving your life by having uncomfortable conversations, it's a big deal. It's important. Improving your conversations by not having arguments and not trying to win them, even more important. My wife and I have had some pretty important conversations. There's a lot changing with me, and there's a lot going on in our lives. And we were high school sweethearts, so it's like, you know, you can't live with someone for a long time and be like, oh, hey, you changed. They're like, it's been like 10 years, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna change. It will happen. So the difficulty lies in adjusting to that change and growing from that change and accepting that change, because you're going to change too. And probably in a way that person doesn't necessarily like. You know, there's at least going to be something they don't like. Certainly if there's something they do like, they'll be like, oh, that's nice. But the thing that they don't like is going to come up a bit more often. So I guess that's what's on my mind. Just have those uncomfortable conversations, those arguments, and don't try to win. Acknowledge that the person who you're arguing with, or you're trying to have a discussion with, is in some part a part of you, even if they're a stranger. You know, everything comes around, always. But there's some part of you, and there's no reason for you to hurt them unnecessarily, or to inflate yourself by winning intellectually. And that's hard for someone like me who argued a lot about guns years ago. Gotta go. But I learned that pretty quickly. Like, it's really easy to shut someone down in an argument with guns because there's just no facts on the other side. It's just not there. It's hollow. It's worse than a nothing burger. It's amazing, really. But at the core, the person with whom you disagree wants the same thing. They want people to be safe. They want people to be happy. They want people to be prosperous. You're not arguing with someone who disagrees with you politically, and they're like, well, I just want everyone to die. Painful, bloody deaths. And I want to stomp puppies. I don't understand why that's so difficult to understand. There's going to be sociopaths and psychopaths and just people that want to destroy humanity. But that's a tiny portion. The chances that every single person who disagrees with you is a literal Nazi, a literal puppy stomping Nazi, pretty slim. Pretty slim. So just try to see yourself in other people, and when you make your arguments or when you talk to them, because you want to understand them so that you can help them understand what you're trying to say, because you're coming at things from very different perspectives, and that's easy to forget. We all have different experiences, and well, we all have different experiences. That's about all I got. Nice short one for you.